Hi dear audience, how are you? This is Rana sir. Welcome to our RANA SIR educational channel. Today I will talk on a topic whose name is polynomial. That is, in other words, we can say that today's topic is a quadratic equation. In quadratic equation, I have to explain about the relationship between discriminant and nature of the root. In this topic, I will explain in detail. Okay, student, so you concentrate on this live video from starting to end for getting good knowledge on this topic. Okay, student, therefore simultaneously you like this live video, subscribe this live video, and also you share this live video with your colleagues, friend and students so that they can also update their knowledge on this topic. Okay, student, so further I am going to start the concept of relationship between a quadratic equation and its roots. Okay, student, so further I am going to explain it in detail. So first of all, I will give one suggestion point and you have to follow that suggestion point in detail. Okay, student, and you have to obey positively. First of all, you have to take notes book and also one pen, and you have to sit at your location properly, and then you have to write the point. That point is like this: relationship between roots and nature of the roots. The relationship between discriminant and the nature of the root. You have to write. So that topic I am going to write here. You have to write relationship between the discriminant and you have to write here nature of the root. Nature of the roots. You have to write this in detail. That is, point is that relationship between discriminant. You have to find the value of discriminant. Here I have to explain it in detail, because if you will know it, so 2 number marks you can obtain in your board exam. So board exam can be CBSE board or high school board. Both students can obtain 2 marks from this topic. Okay, student. So this is class 10th mathematics, which is English medium, and it is also based on NCERT pattern, that is CBSE board. And this solution I am going to give in English medium, but sometime I will also make it in Hindi medium, and also I will upload in video section. Therefore I am saying you like this live video and also subscribe this live video, and also you subscribe this educational channel with your colleagues, friends and students, and also share this live video with your friends so they can also improve their knowledge on this topic. So this is the chapter number 4, whose name is quadratic equation. And now in this quadratic equation, the one point is there. That point I am going to explain relationship between discriminant and the nature of the roots. Okay, student. So first of all, I am going to write a general equation here. General equation I am going to write that general equation is ax square plus bx plus c, which is equal to 0. This is a quadratic equation, but here I have to write one condition. That condition is A cannot be 0. That is, if A will be 0, so this term will be 0. So we will get a linear equation in one variable. So here we have to preserve A cannot be 0. So this term I will preserve here. Therefore, I am going to say this is a quadratic equation, and when we will take its value particular, that is value of A, B and C from minus infinity to plus infinity, but there I will not consider the value of A, which is equal to 0. Okay, student. So I will say this is the complete quadratic equation, general quadratic equation. When I will take one set of A, B, C, then I will get one particular quadratic equation. Okay. So here I am going to explain the relationship between discriminant and nature of the root. So here I will say condition number 1. Here I will write when the value of D which is equal to 0. When the value of D which is equal to 0, it means that I will write the quadratic equation has two real roots. Quadratic equation has two real roots. Okay, students. So here D, what is the concept of D? Already I have told you in previous class. If I have to get its vector, so I will get that vector. That is, here I am going to write minus b plus minus root under, I will write here b square minus 4ac, and here I will write divided by 2a. Okay, student. In other words, here I am going to write or. X is equal to, here I will write minus b plus minus root under b. Here I am going to write root under b divided by 2a. Here I am writing divided by 2a. It means that in both expression and in both formula, here I am considering the value of b which is equal to b square minus 4ac. In other words, we can say that the value of b which is equal to b square minus 4ac, which is given in the formula. So the general formula is this one. If a quadratic equation is available, so from this quadratic equation I have to get the value of x, that is written in the form of x is equal to minus b plus minus root under b square minus 4ac divided by 2a. Now here the value of d in both formula number 1 and also the expression, that is formula number 2, both I am comparing. So in the place of b, here written, that is I am going to make a close part. So in the place of b written b square minus 4ac. So here I have written b is equal to b square minus 4ac. If I will calculate its value and this value will be 0, in this case I will say that quadratic equation has two real roots. That the quadratic equation has two real roots. Okay, students. So here I will cite roots. So that quadratic equation has two real roots. So each and every student has to remember clearly, if the value of d and the value of d is also known as discriminant. Okay, student. If the value of d which is equal to 0, in this case I will say that quadratic equation will have, that quadratic equation has two real roots. Okay, student. So each and every student has to remember this condition. Okay, student. Now in this case I will explain three conditions. So first condition is that if d is equal to 0 or when d is equal to 0, in this case I will say that quadratic equation has two real roots. Okay, student. So I hope that this formula, this step you have to remember clearly. Okay, student. Now Further, I am going to erase this formula. After erasing this formula, second condition I have to explain, because in the case of discriminant there is three conditions, and all these three conditions are important, because in the exam any quadratic equation will be given, and then there will be any variable is available. There will be one variable, and we have to get the value of that variable, and condition is given. That quadratic equation has real and equal roots. So in that case, I will use this condition, d is equal to I am going to also write in rectangle box. So in that condition, I will write d is equal to 0. In the place of d, I will write d square minus 4ac. After getting its value, I will simplify. Then after simplification, I will get the unknown parameter, value of the unknown parameter. Okay, student. So this is the condition number 1, and we have to remember it clearly. Okay, student. If you will have any doubt, so you comment, and I will see your comment. After looking your comment, I will reply positively. Okay, student. So I am going to erase condition number 1, and after erasing, I will explain condition number 2. Okay, student. So you remember the value of d, which is equal to d square minus 4ac. Again, I am going to explain the condition number 2. When, here I have to write when the value of d which is greater than 0. In this case, I will write here the quadratic equation has two distinct real roots. In this case, if we will get the value of d which is greater than 0, in this case I will say the quadratic equation has two distinct and real roots. It means that here I know the value of d which is known as d square minus 4ac. If a particular quadratic equation is given, or any quadratic equation is given in the form of constant, so I will get the value of d square minus 4ac, and that condition is given. In this case, the value of discriminant is greater than 0, so I will evaluate its value, and I will put it here. And after putting here, I will find the range domain of that constant. So I will say during that constant we will get any value, and then we will calculate the value of discriminant. So I will get positive value. Okay, students. So here question is also arising. We have to solve also, because if any quadratic equation that has the value of discriminant which is greater than 0, in this case I will say that quadratic equation has two distinct and real roots. Okay, student. So this condition is second, and this condition you have to remember clearly. Okay, student. So this is the general form of the quadratic equation. Here a cannot be 0. Okay, student. So after writing it, we have to also find the value of d, and d is known as discriminant, and here discriminant meaning is written also. So d is equal to d square minus 4ac, where I will write d is the coefficient of x, a is the coefficient of x square, and c is the constant term which are given in the quadratic equation. Okay, student. So this is the condition number 2 related to quadratic equation. So we have to remember it clearly for solving questions which are based on this topic. Okay, student. Now we have to explain condition number 3. So after erasing this one, we will explain the condition number 3. Okay, student. Now I am going to erase this data. Okay, student. Now here I am going to explain the condition number 3. Condition number 3. Here I have to write when d is negative. When d is negative, in this case, that quadratic equation has the quadratic equation has The quadratic equation has no real roots. Quadratic equation has no real roots, or in other words, we can say that imaginary roots. That quadratic equation has imaginary roots. That quadratic equation has imaginary roots. So, if a quadratic equation is given and we have to explain the relationship between discriminant and nature of the root, I have to write the condition. In one condition, I have to put the value of b which is equal to 0. This is the condition number 1, and condition number 2, that is the value of d which is greater than 0, and this is the condition number 3. If the value of d, that is discriminant, we will calculate and we will find its value is negative, it means that this is the condition number 3. So in the nature of the roots and also discriminant, so these are the 3 conditions and we have to remember clearly. Okay student, for solving any question which are based on this topic, so it is very easy. Only we have to calculate the value of d, that is the value of discriminant d, that is written as b square minus 4ac, where a is the coefficient of x square and b is the coefficient of x and c is the constant term in the quadratic equation. Okay student, so question is asking in the exam, if a quadratic equation is given, so find the value of discriminant. So we can also write the value of discriminant, which is equal to b square minus 4ac. So I will calculate its value. After calculating its value, I will say that is the value of discriminant. But there is condition, if a quadratic equation has real and equal roots, so find the constant term which are written in the quadratic equation. Again I will calculate its value, and if both roots are equal and distinct, so I will use this. This is the second condition. Here I am also going to write this is the first condition. This is the first condition. This is the second condition. Here I am writing, and this will be the third condition. So all these 3 conditions we have to remember clearly. Okay student, so this information I am going to write here in detail. So in first condition I have to write d equal to 0. In second condition I have to write here d is greater than 0. But in third condition I have to write, that is d is less than 0. In this case I will say both roots are real and equal, but in this case both roots are real but distinct, and in this case both roots are imaginary. That is, in this case both root will not lie on the x-axis, and in this case both root will intersect on the x-axis, and in this case both root will touch on the x-axis at the same point. Okay student, so these are the nature of the roots, and this is the value of the discriminant. Okay student, now I am going to summarize this formula by chart method, so you will know very well. Okay student, so you concentrate on this topic, and if you are understanding very well, so you like this slide video, and also you share this slide video and with your friends, colleagues and students, and also you share this educational channel with your colleagues, friends and students, so that they can also update their knowledge and improve their knowledge on this topic. Okay student, so first today I am going to explain it also. So I am going to make a chart. So with chart you can easily understand, and you can easily remember, and you can easily solve any questions which is based on this topic. So this is the quadratic equation. Here I will write one information: find the value of discriminant. Find the value of discriminant. Discriminant means d. Find the value of d. Here I am going to make chart. Find the value of d. Now the value of d is also written as b square minus 4ac, where a is the coefficient of x square and b is the coefficient of x and c is the constant term. We will substitute here. After substituting, I will get its value. Therefore, here I am going to write find the value of d. D means discriminant. Find the value of discriminant. Now there is three conditions. I am going to explain each condition in detail. Now here I am writing if the value of d which is equal to 0. In this case, I will say both roots are real and equal. Here I will write both roots are real and equal. So it is very easy and you have to remember it clearly. Okay, students? So in this format you have to follow. If the value of d which is equal to 0, if I will calculate its value and it will be 0, so I will say both roots are real and equal. Now here I am going to explain condition number 2. If d is greater than 0, in this case I will write in this case I will say both roots are real and distinct. Both roots are real and distinct. Here I will write this is the step number 2. If I will calculate the value of b which is equal to greater than 0, in this case I will say both roots are real and distinct. Okay, students. Now third condition I have to also explain here. If I will calculate the value of d which is less than 0, in this case I will write here in this case both roots are imaginary. Both roots are imaginary. In other words, we can say that roots are not existing. In other words, we can say that roots are not existing. That is imaginary. So this is a quadratic equation and we have to explain about the concept of relationship between discriminant and nature of the root. Nature of the root is given if the value of d which is equal to 0. In this case I will say nature of the root will be real and equal. But the value of b, that is the value of discriminant which is greater than 0, in this case I will say both roots are real and distinct. But here if d is less than 0, so I will say in this case both roots are imaginary. It means that both roots are not lying on the x-axis, that is not intersecting on the x-axis. Therefore I am saying both roots are imaginary, that is called imaginary. Okay, student. In other words, we can also say that that is the complex number. In 11th class I will also explain in detail. Okay, student. So this is the concept I have also explained. Okay, students. So if you will remember this concept and after remembering, if any question will be asked on this topic, you can simply explain. Okay, student. So you properly write and you also properly understand and positively you take the question from the textbook and solve each and every question which are related on this topic. You can easily solve. Okay, student. So I am going to take one numerical from textbook which is based on this topic. I will explain that question. Okay, student. So I am going to take one numerical which is based on this. Okay, students. Further I am going to erase the data. Now I am going to write question. Find the discriminant. First question number 1. Here I am going to write find the discriminant of the quadratic equation. Find the discriminant find the discriminant of the quadratic equation. That quadratic equation is written like this: x square minus 4x plus 1 which is equal to 0. Okay, students. So this is the quadratic equation, and I have to find the value of discriminant of the given particular quadratic equation. So first of all, I will get the value of discriminant, and then if other portion will be asked nature of the root, so I can also evaluate the nature of root. But here in this portion only asking only find the discriminant of the given quadratic equation. So here I will write solution. That is very easy. We have to write solution, and then I will write here general equation of the general quadratic equation. Here I will write general quadratic equation. Quadratic equation. General quadratic equation is. General quadratic equation is, here I will write ax square plus bx plus c which is equal to 0, and then I will say x and not is 0. This condition I have to write, and given quadratic, and I will say this is the quadratic equation number 1, and given quadratic equation is as x square minus 4x plus 1 which is given in the question. Okay, students. So I will say this is the equation number 2, quadratic equation number 2. Now here this x square I can write 1 into x square. Now here the coefficient of x square is 1, and here coefficient of x is minus 4, but here constant term is 1. So I will compare equation 1 and 2 for getting the value of a, b and c. Okay, student. So I will write here one statement comparing equations number 1 and equation number 2 on both sides. Comparing, here I will write comparing equation 1 and 2 on both sides. On both sides we get. Okay, students. So this information, this instruction, this information I will use in both equations, and then I will compare its value. Now here I am comparing both equations. So here in first equation the coefficient of x square is a, and the coefficient of x square is 1. In second equation, so I will write a is equal to 1. Now in first equation coefficient of x is b, and in second equation coefficient of x is minus 4. So I will write here b is equal to minus 4. Again I will say in the equation number first the constant term is c, and in equation number second in the place of constant it will be written 1. So I will say the value of c is equal to 1. Okay, student. So I have used these two equations, and after using these two equations I have compared the value of a, b and c in both equations. After comparing we have written here these three values. Okay, student. Now further I have to get the value of discriminant. So I know the value of discriminant is d is equal to b square minus 4ac. So I will get its value. Now further I am going to integrate above repeat letter. Now here I am going to write the value of discriminant, which is equal to b square minus 4ac. Now in the left hand side I will put the value of b. In the question given minus 4, so here I will write minus 4 whole square. Now I will also put 4 is available in the formula, and then I will write the value of A which is equal to 1, and then value of C which is equal to also 1. Okay students, so I will simplify. So minus 4 I will write 2 times. Minus 4 into minus 4 into 1 into 1 1 and 4 into 1 4. Okay. Okay students, here I write minus and minus. For multiplication of minus and minus I will write plus. I will write plus sign, so here will be plus sign. 4 into 4 for just 16. So I will write here minus 4. So after subtraction I will get its value will be 12. It means that in other words we can say that the value of D which is equal to 12. The value of D which is equal to 12. So this is the answer of my question. Yeah, this is the answer of the given question. So this is very easy. You have to find the given quadratic. You have to find the value of A, B and C from the given quadratic equation, and then you have to evaluate the value of D, and its meaning is discriminant, that is discriminant, and its value is B square minus 4AC. I will take the value of A from the given quadratic equation and also the value of A and C, and also B. I will take the values from the given quadratic equation, and then I will substitute here. After substituting I will simplify. After simplification we will get the value of D, and that will be the answer of the given question. In the question that is given, that is asked here, find the discriminant of the given quadratic equation. In other words, we can say that find the value of the discriminant of the given quadratic equation. Okay students, so I hope that you are knowing very well how we have to calculate the value of discriminant from the given quadratic equation. Okay students, now next question I am going to explain how to get the nature of the root. If the nature of the root is given in the question, we have to find the unknown quantity, unknown value which are available in the quadratic equation. In other words, we can say that a quadratic equation is given and there is a parameter which is available, that is unknown, and we have to find the value of that parameter. So I will use nature of the roots. There are three nature of the roots. One is we have to calculate the value of D which is equal to 0. In this case, both roots will be real and equal, and if I will get the value of D which is greater than 0, in this case I will say there will be two roots, but both roots will be distinct. And in third case, if the value of D I will get negative, in this case both roots will be imaginary. In other words, we can say that both root will not intersect on the x-axis. Okay student, so this solution I am going to erase, and I will write another question, and that question I will solve, and in that question we have to find the unknown parameter by using the nature of the root. Okay student, there is given nature of the roots, and I will use that nature of the root, and I will obtain the value of the unknown parameter. Okay student, so you concentrate on this live video from starting to end for updating your knowledge, developing your knowledge on this topic. Okay student, so I am going to take another question before I am going to erase this solution. Now we have to write a question which is based on the explain the topic. If the discriminant of the equation, that is quadratic equation. Now this is the question number 2. If the discriminant of the quadratic equation of the quadratic equation of the quadratic equation of the quadratic equation 6x square minus bx plus 2 which is equal to 0 is 1 is 1 is 1. Then find the value of b. Then find the value of b. Okay, students. So here in the question, that question is written: if the discriminant of quadratic equation, this is the quadratic equation, this is the quadratic equation which is given in the question. If the discriminant of the quadratic equation is 1, that is given the value of b which is equal to 1, then find the value of b. Here b, one parameter b is written here, that is unknown parameter, we have to calculate its value, but the value of discriminant is given 1. Okay, student, so it is very simple, we have to obtain its condition. So we have to write the value of discriminant. D is equal to b square minus 4ac. Okay, students, so I will write general equation, and with general equation and given equation I will evaluate. After evaluating, I will get the coefficient of x square, coefficient of x, and also coefficient constant term. After equating, I will get its value. Okay, students, so you concentrate on this video for getting knowledge on this topic. Okay, students, so here you have to write solution, that is step number 1. In this case you have to write the given that you have to write here given that. So in the question given that is discriminant of the quadratic equation is 1, here given 1. So given information is like this: d is equal to 1. Okay, students, so d is equal to 1, so I will get the value of a, b and c from the given quadratic equation. So here I am going to write general quadratic equation in this way: ax square plus capital bx plus capital c which is equal to 0, and here I will write a cannot be 0. So this condition here I have to write a cannot be 0. Okay, students, so I will say this is the equation number 1. Again, given quadratic equation, here I will write minus 6x square minus small bx plus 2 which is equal to 0. I will say this is the equation number 2. Okay, student, so I will write one statement, that statement will be like this: we have to compare equation number 1 and also equation number 2 from both equations. After comparing, we will get the value of capital A and capital B, capital B and capital C from given quadratic equation. And after getting the value of A, B and C, I will put here, because in the place of C I can write b square minus 4ac which is equal to 1. This is also given because the value of discriminant is also written as b square minus 4ac which is equal to 1. Now we have to get the value of a, b and c. Now in general form I will write like this. Here in general form I will write like this: b square minus 4 capital A capital C which is equal to 1, because this information is written from the general quadratic equation. So here general quadratic equation is written as capital AX square plus BX capital BX plus C which is equal to 0, and I will say this is the equation number 1. Okay, student. Now because in the question given the discriminant of the given quadratic equation is 1, so I have to write here d is equal to 1, and then I will write here the value of d, which is equal to minus d square minus 4ac will be equal to 1. Now further I have to compare equation 1 and 2 for getting the value of capital A, capital B and capital C. Okay student, so further I am going to write this statement. So this question I am going to erase because there is no extra space to write. Therefore I am going to, after erasing I have to write here comparing equation 1 and equation 2. We get on both sides, we get on both sides we get. Okay student, on comparing both sides we get. So here I am going to substitute this value. Now in equation 1 and in equation 2, in equation 1 coefficient of x square is capital A, so here I am going to write capital A, and in the equation number 2 here coefficient of x square is 6, so I will write A equal to 6. And in first equation the coefficient of x is b, and in second equation the coefficient of x is small b. So here I have to write small b. Okay student, now constant term in the equation number 1 is capital C, but in equation number 2 the constant term is 2, so I have to write 2. Okay student, so already I have calculated this value. Now the value of capital A, capital B, capital C I will put here. After putting I will get the value of B, which is asked in the question. Okay student, so you concentrate how we are going to calculate. So you listen, watch properly and write properly each and every step. So I have to write the value of A, B and C in the equation number 3. I will say this is the equation number 3 which is given in the question. This is the equation number 3. Okay student, so further I am going to erase above data. After erasing, again this information I will write on the top for further calculation. This is b square minus 4ac, which is written in the left hand side, and on the right hand side we take the 1. Okay student, so further I am going to erase. Now here in this is the equation number 3 I have assumed. So I have to put here the value of A, B and C. So here I am going to put the value of B, that is minus B is available, so I will put here minus B because here minus the value of capital B is equal to minus B, so I have to write here minus B, and then 4 in the place of A I have to write 6. Now in the place of C, that is written 2, so I will write here 2 is equal to 1. Further imply that again I will simplify, so this minus B square I will write here B square minus here I will write 4 sigma 24 and 24 A. Now any term will go from left to right, here come from right to left, so sign will change. So here sign is minus, it will go in right hand side, so sign will be plus. Their sign will change. So here I will write b square, that will be 49. So again I will write b is equal to plus minus root under 49. Okay student, so here I have got the value of b which is equal to plus minus root 49. So here we have to take the square root of 49, that will be 7. Okay student, so further I will write here imply that b is equal to plus minus 7. So this is the final answer of the given question. Okay students, so according to this way the solution of given question I can solve easily. Okay students, so This question is important because such types of question is asked in the exam. Okay, student. So you have to remember the relationship between discriminant and the nature of the root. There are three conditions, and you have to remember all these three conditions properly. If you remember these three conditions, so question will be very easy for solving, because first of all you have to get the value of discriminant, that is d is equal to b square minus 4ac. Now in first step you have to write there the value of d which is equal to 0. In this case you have to write that quadratic equation has two real and distinct root. But if the value of d you will get negatives, if you will get positive sign, in that case you will say that quadratic equation has two distinct and real roots. It means that both root will intersect the x-axis at a certain point. Now in the step number 3 you have to also write the information in the value of d, that is the discriminant will be negative. It means that you will calculate the value of d which is equal to b square minus 4ac, and after calculating it will come negative. It means that both roots will be imaginary. It means that both will not cut or intersect on the x-axis. It means, in other words, that I will also say that in imaginary, that is a complex number. Okay, student. So this step I will be in detail in 11th class mathematics, and that is known as complex number. Okay, student. So in the given question, and this concept I have applied, that is the relationship between discriminant and the nature of the root. After using that condition, and I have got the unknown parameter, that is unknown parameter is a label here b, and its value will be plus minus 7. Okay, student. So according to this way you can solve each and every question very easily. Okay, student. So if you are getting good knowledge, so you like this live video, and also you share this live video with your colleagues, friend and student, and also you subscribe this educational channel with your colleagues, friends and students, so that they can also update their knowledge, develop and update their knowledge on this topic. Okay, students. On the other video I will meet you, and on the next class daily I start 10 past 2 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. or you can say that 15 minutes past to 8 p.m. or 30 minutes past to 8 p.m. So always I will present on this time interval, that is on this time slot. On this time slot always I will present, and I will explain the class 10th mathematics, which is available in English medium, and it is also based on this NCERT pattern, that is known as CBSE board. And also this is the chapter number. I am explaining that all those concepts are existing in the chapter number 4, and whose name is quadratic equation. So today I have explained with you about the relationship between discriminant and the nature of the root. There are three conditions I have explained in detail. Okay, students. So always I will be live on 10 past to 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. or 15 past to 8 p.m. or 30 minutes past to 8 p.m. always. Okay, student. Okay, tomorrow I will meet you on the same time. If you will have any doubt or any comment, any issue, so you comment, and I will see your comment, and then I will explain your solution of the comment positively. Okay, students. So this is this information is thank you for listening, watching, and also writing. All informations which are spoken by me are written data on the blackboard. Okay, students. Bye. I will meet you tomorrow on the same time, that is 10 past to 7 p.m. Thank you.